they were really physical in midfield and they really stopped us playing our football. Now, listen, you know your club better than me. I'd be amazed if you signed both. I know it sounds crazy because I'm just looking at Ramsey and Raya here, but when you're signing 2 in one window, that's very unusual.
We are outside the Emirates as the Premier League is finally around the corner, as Nottingham Forest will travel down to London for the first game of the season against the mighty Arsenal.
I like that, the mighty Arsenal. I'll take that.
You know, I do have respect for Arsenal. He's an Arsenal fan, have you? James, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us.
I really appreciate it.
How you doing, and how's your pre-season been? You ready for the season yet?
You picked a good day for filming because the sun's finally out in London. We haven't had that for a while. Pre-season actually has been a bit stop-start, but it's funny. It's the last result you remember. I remember when we beat Barcelona out in the States. We were there. We came away from it going, yeah, pre-season was all right. We weren't good here against Monaco in the Emirates Cup. Everyone wondered, is Arteta still figuring out what he wants to do? I thought we looked impressive in the Community Shield, not so much, we didn't batter City or anything, but we managed to nullify them and actually have a really even game and come away with the Shield. So the summer's been good. The summer's definitely been good, especially on the signings front. David Raya to arrive. But, this is an interesting test, this one here against Forest. Yeah.
Because obviously we played you towards the end of last season, and thank you. You kept us up. Those were the official 3 points we needed.
Big City are thanking us too.
And apologies that we made it official for City that day as well. Yeah. But you did owe us one because we drew with them earlier on and kept you in the race. So we're even.
It's very true. You took your points off.
We do have a knack. We do have a knack, especially in the City ground. But let's roll back to early last season and 5-0 here for you guys against the Forest team that still wasn't really gelled with the 22 players in.
You're figuring it all out.
Yeah, it was still a bit of a mess at the time. Do you expect to see anything different from Forest, and what have you thought of their summer so far?
We were just talking off camera, and you said that Steve Cooper could be quite defensive, that you think there'll be a lot of backs against the wall kind of stuff from Forest this year. And that surprised me because he has this reputation. I think I was watching the overlap the other day, and forgive me if I'm misquoting, but the impression I got was they're very much talking about Steve Cooper as a manager who wants to play good football, but has maybe had to revert to something a little bit more pragmatic to get you through the campaign. For me, that's the signs of a good manager. Coming here, though, I do expect, sorry for the cough, I do expect we'll see a lot of Arsenal trying to probe, break you down, find the pockets. Won't be easy to do. I don't think we're going to get the 5-0. I think that's what fans are hoping for. We've just won the Community Shield, slap up Forest, on we go.
Is that a trophy or not now? The Community Shield.
We did win it.
So you're counting it now,
You know, I've always, and honestly, I genuinely have said this forever about the Community Shield.
I know what's coming.
My answer is, it's not a major trophy. I haven't been watching the highlights the last few days, soaking it all in like I would anything else.
DVD coming out.
But it is silverware. It is, and I think the way I always judge it is when I see Arteta and Pep Guardiola getting as animated on the touchline, players celebrating the goals the way they are, I just think if it matters to them, it matters to me. That's kind of how I've always seen it. But ultimately, it's not one of the major ones. Ultimately, there's still so much football, all the football yet to be played. But it's a nice way to start the season, and you've got a little something that you can have with the team photo. So
Fair enough. Good answer. Let's talk about a connection we do currently have between Arsenal and Forest, and that's Matt Turner. He's not a player that we've seen too much of, and nor have you really, have you?
That's what's crazy.
But the Forest fans are asking and interested to get the Arsenal side opinion on him. Are you sad he's gone? Are you going to miss him, or? How was he when he was at Arsenal?
Do you know what Arteta's really kind of, what we've all learned, I think, about Arteta and the players he wants? Yes, ultra high technical quality. Yes, a serious work ethic. I think a mentality that is like, I understand my place in my squad, but I'm willing to work hard and I'm willing to fight. And while he never really got that opportunity over Aaron Ramsdale, I think his attitude was spot on throughout. And I think that really matters. I think that's why certain other players, I'm not going to name names, that could be leaving the club, there's this kind of attitude that suggests not a willingness to fight for your place at Arsenal. That's completely fine. But then Arteta wants you to want Arsenal. That is a key thing with all our signings. Now, Matt Turner, I think, we saw the clips of him not signing a shirt because a Tottenham fan was holding it and all that. He really bought into Arsenal from minute one. Now he's got the opportunity to be a number one at a Premier League club. And I'm delighted for him because him and Ramsdale had a great relationship. I think I don't know if he ever pushed Ramsdale in terms of performance, but I definitely think there was a comfort in a good way.
Yeah. And they had a good relationship as well. I saw Ramsdale coming out saying he was the funniest guy in the squad because he's so American.
I think they did have a really good relationship, and I think Matt Turner now, we didn't see enough of him. So if you're asking me, do I think you guys signed a top goalkeeper, one that's going to save you a load of points? I don't know. But I also think the task at Forest can be very different to the task at Arsenal. At Arsenal, it's be very switched on, don't lose focus. There might be a lull for 10 minutes, then you're in action, be good on the ball. I think at Forest, it's command your area. There'll be a lot.
Be ready.
Be ready, but like it's about rhythm as well, and like making multiple saves at once, dealing with being under the cosh for a while. And I don't know if he has that in him. I hope he does, because I like him a lot, and I genuinely wish him all the best.
Good. Well, he'll be playing on Saturday. Let's see if he keeps a clean sheet
That's
or not.
Crazy, isn't it?
That's why I thought you guys would stall the deal until Sunday. Shows how confident you are.
Well, I also think
because we had no other keeper. We do. We have the American number 2 Horvath. We've got Hennessy, who's way past it, and a young kid called Shelvey. There's still Henderson is still likely to happen, but that'll be
even
towards
with Turner.
Yeah, and that's why I'm a bit confused about what Turner's ambitions are. Because if Henderson comes in, he will be number 1. That's why he's coming in.
That's really fascinating because I think the reason we let him go was also because we didn't want to stall on the David Raya deal.
Yeah.
It turns out we've got ourselves the deal of a lifetime in getting him on loan before we ultimately pay the fee that is, going to be, I think, obligated after a certain amount of games.
3 mil up front and 27, isn't it? Something like that.
It's a fantastic deal.
Yeah.
I don't think we wanted to mess around with that. And I think also with Henderson kind of in the background, there's a feeling, well, Forest might just turn to their other alternatives. Listen, you know your club better than me. I'd be amazed if you signed both. I know it sounds crazy because I'm just looking at Ramsey and Raya here. But when you're signing 2 in one window, that's very unusual.
Well, we signed 2 loanies last year. We had Henderson and Navas on loan. So we got a bit of a historical issue with keepers since Samba left us.
Okay.
But Henderson, the club want him. He wants Forest. His issue is they're worried he may re-injure himself in the medical. So they're trying to let his injury heal completely. That's why they're pushing it to the last minute. And that's why I wonder about Turner's motivations. Is he preferring to come to Forest to be a number 2 because he felt he was being pushed down to a number 3, maybe at Arsenal? Do you think it could be something like that? Or do you think he thinks he can fight if Henderson goes through? Obviously, everything's
No, I think he believes he can fight for that spot. Yeah. You've got to think the World Cups, I know it's not this coming summer, but we're talking a couple of years away. You can lose momentum very quickly. There's other goalkeepers like Zach Steffen who are playing football in the Championship. I think Matt Turner will want to get himself a place cemented. But let's see what happens.
Okay, looking at the Forest team, does anyone scare you? Be honest, is there anyone you all respect or you think your team needs to be wary of?
Well, let's be honest. I don't know if there's a Premier League team that doesn't have players I respect and I'm scared of in some capacity. Well, at the time of recording, we're hoping this Kane deal goes
he's pretty
through.
much on his way from what we're hearing,
I really like Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yeah.
I really like Awonyi.
Yeah.
I know Cecil was telling us in our preview that apparently he's not played pre-season. He's had injury problems.
He was playing against Leeds and took a knock to the ankle. He should be. There's reports this morning saying he's fit.
I like
whether or not he's risked, I don't know.
I like him. He's a handful. One thing you do have is energy in midfield, whether you play with the back 3 and it's Kuyate and who was the other midfielder who was a regular as a central midfielder for you guys?
Danilo, the Brazilian.
Danilo's brilliant. I mean,
He's
didn't even
fantastic.
think there's another guy
Yates as well.
Yates, that's what I'm thinking
he's a hard-working grafter.
So
gets in their faces.
I think they really, really make it difficult for you to kind of settle and play, which is why I almost think, yes, we talk about Forest maybe coming and being on kind of 2 low blocks, but when you've got dynamism in midfield, I think the best way is to get stuck into Arsenal. I think that's what you did quite well at home when you beat us 1-0. Yes, we had a lot of defending to do, but you did engage in us and make it very difficult for our midfielders to get on the ball and play. So, there are players I worry about. Another thing I really do worry about, and this is more from the Arsenal perspective, is Arsenal, this is our 5th Community Shield win in the last 10 years, which is great. I mean, listen, you take that, right? That suggests you're doing something right either in the league or the cups. When we won the Community Shield in the summer of 2014, we end up going life and death with Palace here, who at the time weren't a great side, didn't have all these players we talk about now, and then Aaron Ramsdale wins it for us in injury time. Then the year after, we win the Community Shield again, we beat Chelsea, who were the league champions. West Ham beat us here 2-0. Then we go and play Leicester as well after winning the Community Shield. in 2017, I want to say. We beat them 4-3, having gone down a couple times.
Yeah.
We're through to 2-0 down until kind of the last 5-10 minutes. We got 2 goals. The point I'm making is we actually have a history of almost, maybe as a fan base, maybe as an Emirates atmosphere, maybe the players, of lifting that community shield, having some silverware and thinking, great, we're ready, we're sharp, and we're going to go. Yeah. And actually history has taught us in the last 10 years that we tend to have slightly slow starts on the back of those. So Forest thing will make it difficult. I rate Steve Cooper. I think you've got some good players. What Arsenal need to do is be uber focused, uber sharp, and not mess around in that 12:30 kickoff.
Yeah, well, you know, if it makes you feel any better, well, I hope it doesn't, but last time we played you guys on the opener, I think was the year we got relegated and we lost 2-1 to you. So that was in the Premier League. I mean,
my prediction was a 3-1 win in the other preview I did for AFTV because, but one of those like tetchy, awkward 3-1s. You know,
is that
maybe
how
we go, maybe we go 1-0 down, or maybe we're 1-0 up. You pull it back to 1-1, and we find maybe a second in the 65th, 70th minute.
Is that the kind of game you need? Because I watch a lot of Arsenal, obviously my boy's a big fan of you guys. And I think you play well when you get a team that's trying to attack you. You know, when you're coming up against that low block, I feel you got better at it in periods of the season last year. And when you played Dust, you were kind of deflated, and it is what it is. But do you think this will be a good test for you? This is the kind of team you feel you have to break down. These are points you have to get on board if you're going to make a push against City this season.
Yeah, it's funny because when we talk about what Arsenal suit playing against, we can say low. We can say a low block because we have a lot of the ball. But then if that team is good in transitions on the counter, they really open us up. Yeah. But on the other hand, 2 games we've struggled with. I mentioned Forest away last season, Everton away, where they weren't just a low block, but they were really physical in midfield, and they really stopped us playing our football. Now maybe away from home,
they were pressing you quite high as well, weren't they?
Maybe away from home that works better because smaller pitch, away crowd, and you kind of just get suffocated by what's around you. Maybe at the Emirates, I don't know if that works. If Arsenal play their football, couple passes and they're out of the press, suddenly you're thinking, everyone get back. So I don't really know. I would say your best bet, you're one of the best teams I didn't expect last season was Bournemouth. It helped that they got a goal in the opening 12 seconds against us.
That was crazy.
But we found that very difficult to break down, and they were throwing 2-3 players on the counter every time. It's all about fine margins and balance. So let's see ultimately.
Let's see, Okay, where do you think Forest will finish this year, mate? And be honest. We have some of our own fan base who are, a bit pessimistic about it, saying relegation. I dreamt 7th the other day in my sleep, But where, as an outsider looking in, would you see Forest finishing this year?
I'll give you the good news and the bad news. The good news first.
Yeah.
On the AFTV predictions, I said you'd stay up and Wolves would go down. Then I recorded my predictions, and I actually had you to go down. And I'm really sorry I'm on a Forest channel saying now. I'm very sorry.
Why are you contradicting yourself here?
I am contradicting myself.
How's this working? Talk me through the logic.
Well, the AFTV one was a little bit more rushed. And sometimes you've got to go with your instant gut feeling. I could look very stupid being on this channel saying you'll go down, then ultimately drop points against you on Saturday.
Clip it.
Exactly. Do your thing if I've got this wrong. Do you know what my fear is? That it took a little bit of a surge towards the end to pull yourselves away from it. Have you done enough in the market? Is Steve Cooper the man? I like him, but you were saying that there's maybe doubts there. And also, and I think this is a really crucial bit, whoever I put in that 3rd spot is a bit of a shock. Yeah. Whether it's Wolves, whether it's Fulham, whether it's who are the other teams that are around there? Crystal Palace,
Sheffield
Everton.
United.
Well, Sheffield United and Luton, actually, the 2 I'm quite confident will go down.
So Burnley, you think will stay up? I kind of agree with you.
I think Burnley will be okay.
I agree with you,
So kind of almost, it's almost by default. I don't mean to be rude, but almost
say what you say.
Everyone else, there's a good case.
You can make a case.
And it's so who have I got the least case for? Yeah. But let me say one thing. At home, you guys are brilliant. The home crowd are fantastic. Yeah. I think you'll pick up points there. I also think it will take a maybe slightly higher points tally to stay up.
Yeah.
I think from first to bottom, it's going to condense a little bit, which might make it harder. So, look, I don't know. I'm waffling a little bit here.
It's fine.
And I would love for you guys to stay up, genuinely.
Yeah. Did you have us to go down last year?
No, I had to stay up.
I wish you'd said yes.
No, I know. I genuinely had you to stay up. I think I think you finished exactly where I thought you would, which is in that kind of 14 to 17 bracket. So that doesn't. Listen, I got most of my predictions wrong last year.
Before you depress all our fans, well, you're going to further now, no doubt. I'm going to ask you for your score prediction.
Yes.
You said 3-1. You did on AFTV. Are you changing your mind, or are you sticking with that?
No, I'll stick with it. I think, but you'll work us really hard. I do believe that, and I think, I think we'll go for 3-1. Am I right in thinking that you've got like City, Chelsea, United, Arsenal in your first away games?
You are right, yeah. We've got you, then Man United, and then Man City, Chelsea, all away. But in between that, we've got Sheffield United and Burnley at home. Okay. How this is randomly generated, I'll never know.
I think what I'd say is you can spin that two ways. You're going to have favourable away games at the end of the season when it matters, or it sets you off on a really bad foot, and then that momentum can be hard to build. Yeah. But I really, genuinely, I wholeheartedly believe, and wholeheartedly hope you guys will be okay. And your home form, I think, will pick you up a lot of points.
There you go. He hopes but doesn't believe. I'm sorry. James, thank you so much for joining us today. Guys, you all already are, but if you're not, please go and subscribe to AFTV, the legends there. Appreciate your time, James. Thank you so much for coming on the channel.
And genuinely best of luck for the season.
You too. Just not this Saturday. Thank you.